So what actually happens when your samples are out of key? Yeah, it sounds weird, but have you ever actually wondered why that is the case? The short answer is we're building unresolved tension, so let's explore this concept for a moment. So I've got this pad and it's in G minor. So that means that G is the root note, so whenever I play a G, this means that we're actually going to be resolving tension, right? So I've folded this MIDI clip to the scale of G minor, and whenever we go up in notes, we're actually creating some tension because each note has its own sort of value of tension. Some notes are more stable, some notes are more unstable and dissonant and create a little bit more tension. So you can see that as I venture from the root, I go up in this melody here. Let's just solo that as well. As I go away from the G, we're creating some tension. So let's have a listen to this. So if I was just to stop there, it would sound a little bit out of place. I mean, it doesn't sound bad. It sounds totally fine. But what we're actually doing is we're venturing away from this G, but we're not actually resolving the tension that we're making. So we're actually left a little bit empty. It's a little bit out of context. So let's have a listen to this. But then when I activate this second melody over here, this clip is actually resolving tension. We're going back to the G. So let's have a listen to this with the context of this other one in here now as well. So that to me makes a little bit more sense. We're venturing away and then we're coming back and resolving the tension. So now when we're using audio, we actually have to remember that each audio clip that we use actually holds note value as well. So we can't really just drag in an audio clip and just sort of hope that it works, even if it says that it's in the same key. Sometimes it's playing a different note in the key, which is a little bit more unstable. So I've got these drums here and I've also got this synth loop here. Let's have a listen to this one. By the way, if you want more workflow tips like this, we have a free Ableton workflow Bible, so I'll leave that in the description below. So when it comes to audio samples, it's a little bit harder to tell because we don't actually have the piano roll in front of us like we do over here. But audio samples themselves actually hold note value as well. This is a note that's being played over and over. But this one doesn't have any information describing what note it is. So most of the time you kind of have to sit there and just transpose the pitch up and down to try and find a note that works. So this audio workflow makes it harder to get our samples actually in key and know which note we're playing, right? But what we're actually doing is we're creating unresolved tension. If I just cut this loop up a little bit and resolve the melody for you, so I'm just gonna put this down 2 semitones and this one down 3. This is actually where it's wanting to resolve to. This is what it's actually wanting to do. So with the context of this transposing in pitch over here, this synth loop actually makes a lot more sense with our track. It's kind of like having this resolution. We're going back down to the root note, so it makes sense. So this is definitely something that you want to keep your ear out for when you're producing. You want to avoid making any unresolved tension in your tracks. Unless of course it's intentional or you like the sound of it. It's just going to kind of like put your listener on edge a little bit. I hear this all the time and it's a really common piece of feedback for sort of intermediate producers. So a good tool for trying to analyze the note value of audio samples is Mixed in Key Studio Edition SE. So this is just a plugin that essentially tries to extract which notes are being played in audio samples. So I've just put this on the G minor pad here just to test it, see if it works. So I guess it's essentially working. It's E flat major or G minor, and it's showing you that there's a G, there's a B flat and a D in this chord. So this just sort of gives you a good starting point to like use your ears and try and figure out which chord this is actually playing. But generally it's just a good idea to always keep your ear open for trying to make sure that you don't have any unwanted buildup of tension when you're not expecting it, especially when you're using audio samples. So thanks for watching as always. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, remember to like and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, thanks for hanging out, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.